Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you my complete solo slave pens farming route as a mage. This is one of my favorite dungeons to farm because it's very consistent. The pools are easy to repeat once you learn them. There is very little downtime and the dungeon has several different sources of income instead of relying on one lucky drop. We will have a huge amount of greens that some can go very expensive and the bad ones we will disenchant them. Also, the pearl are very good, especially if you get the black one, which is around 30 gold at the moment. In this video, I'll show you the complete route from start to finish. This route is built around efficiency. As you can see, the first pool is very straightforward. We will deal with the mobs like they are in the open world. No frostbite, just blizzard over and keeping our distance. The goal isn't to make every pool as big as possible, it's to chain one pool into the next while keeping your cooldowns rotating smoothly. If you can keep moving from one pool to another without stopping, your gold per hour go up significantly. Also, keep in mind that the crabs have slower movement speed than normal mobs, so you don't have to use any defensive ability against them. Consider them the easiest type of packs. A lot of people only calculate raw gold when comparing farms. Personally, I think that's misleading because the real profit comes after processing everything. Between disenchanting, auction house sales and vendor loot, the final amount is much higher than what your bags show at the end of the run. As I said, the pools are very straightforward. I'm gathering every mob in this section before stopping in a position and ice block. That's what I do if the mobs are scattered around. The most important thing here is keeping the mobs grouped together as tightly as possible, so blizzard hit every mob and slow them, and especially no frostbite, so we don't spread them apart with a random proc. If a few mobs start breaking away, simply rotate Frost Nova with your water elemental freeze and continue kiting. Once you've done this a few times, the pool becomes very consistent, especially when there are no ranged or caster mobs. This pool follows exactly the same strategy. Also, you don't have to be adventurous and try to pull multiple packs when they are far away. The duration of gathering them will make the slow immunity come faster for the first mobs, and this will ungroup the mobs and this conclude in a death. Instead of rushing, focus on getting them one group at a time. It is slower, yes, but safer, and that's how you gotta deal with the slow immunity nerf, especially when you're alone. Safety and consistency is much more important than trying to save a few seconds. Here we have to ship the healer mob and always staying as far as possible from the ray because it fears. Even if you can counterspell it, it's preferable to just space your pool perfectly to save mana. We have to CC the healer because you can't kill them in time with all the heal and shield. If everything stacked correctly, the rest of the pool become very easy to control. One thing I really like about slave pens is that almost every pool feels the same once you learn the routes. That means the dungeon is very consistent. You don't need rare drops to make it worthwhile because you're constantly generating value through greens, pearls, raw gold, vendor loot and the occasional blue item. That consistency is what makes this farm so enjoyable over long sessions. The greens here are actually more valuable than many people think. Some are perfect for disenchanting or wandering, while most of them sell surprisingly well because boosted characters are constantly looking for upgrades around level 58 to 62. I will soon make a full video about how good the greens are and showing with details what is their true worth. This is an important pool in the route because it is actually 2 packs. And there are 12 mobs, the maximum number of mobs before the AoE damage cap. If you are well geared, you can always do pulls 12 mobs per 12 mobs. You just have to kill them quickly before it becomes uncontrollable. Here I'm paying more attention to positioning than damage. Keeping the mobs grouped tightly saves much more time than trying to force extra DPS. Whenever something doesn't go perfectly, don't panic. Reset the pool with Frost Nova, blink if necessary, regroup everything and continue normally. It's much more safer than trying to force a pool. While the gameplay continues, it's worth talking about where the gold actually comes from. This farm, if done correctly, can go up to 350 gold per hour. And by correctly, I mean doing the pulls perfectly and knowing what to do with every item. What to wonder, what to disenchant, and what need to be in the auction house, and even what to shuffle if necessary. Most players immediately think about rare drops, but those are only a bonus. The majority of your income comes from consistently looting everything. Greens can either be disenchanted or sold depending on affixes. Vendor item add up surprisingly quickly. Raw gold continue to accumulate every run, especially when you're alone. Also, a black pearl and a chest can make a huge difference. When you combine all of those together, the dungeon becomes much more profitable than it first appears. These two defenders are very annoying because most of the time they are alone and you can't quickly kill them with mono-target spell because they can do reflect, so it's better to kill them with AoE. Also, they can detect invisibility, so you can't skip them. They are pretty much making you lose time, but that's fine, so you can just reset here and go again. But personally, I like going and clearing all the packs. It's much more fun. Also, tiny tinfoil hat, I feel like mobs after the first boss drop much more greens than before. Maybe Blizzard did nerf the early mobs because of all the boosting, but that's just a conspiracy and how I felt after farming this dungeon for a long time. In this room, most of the time you find a chest, and it's sometimes locked. The best profession to farm here are engineering and mining, to get the chest and all the mining node you can find. Also, grenades really help to get bigger pools. And for disenchanting the items, you can always disenchant with another character, because all of the items we are getting are BOE. This pack is pretty annoying and kinda the hardest, even if in general it's an easy pull. And the reason is that the technicians cast Rain of Fire and they're gonna stand still for 8 seconds, while the other mobs gonna continue moving forward while casting slow on you. So the packs won't stay packed, and they're gonna form a straight line where your Blizzard won't touch all of them. When that happens, just regroup them with Blink, Nova, and just continue. Also, using Icy Vents and Water Elemental here make it smoother and safer.
The dark. Me, me, me. La, la, la. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, la, la, la. Vast intentions fluttered by, swirl again, a lullaby. Ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. Lace-bound lies in golden ink, sip too long and start to sink.
The mobs here in the breach are a bit scattered and low in quantity. You can simply skip them with invisibility because they are not worth your time. But still, here, I'm going to kill them just for the video. As long as you have your cooldowns up, you can group up multiple packs. As long as they are 12 or less, it is fine. And if it goes south, you can always recover with cold snap and some cheap potions that you drop in the dungeon itself.
Tug the thread and fake the fall. Yet another bluff to risk it all. Spinning tails on crimson lace. Would you trade your poker face? Step into the gamble serenade, where every step's a masquerade. Blow a kiss, the cards may slide. Truth and lies can coincide. Crackling beds and powdered glow. Swirl and spin, the stakes don't show. Feathers fall from gilded fans. Whisper stitched in sleight of hand. Eyes like lanterns in a storm. Daring fate to change its form. Tug the thread and fake the fall. Yet another bluff to risk it all. Spinning tails on crimson lace. Would you trade your poker face? Step into the gamble serenade, where every step's a masquerade. Blow a kiss, the cards may slide. Truth and lies can coincide. Ooh, the silence steals a hand. Glass confessions hard to stand. Final dance, one whispered name. Will you fold or stake your claim? The lights very cold, the lights dim. Step into the gamble serenade, where every step's a masquerade. Blow a kiss, the cards may slide. Truth and lies can coincide.
You can notice here that the packs are repeating themselves and they are always the same. Here, as always, ship the healer and pull the rest. Since we're gonna do 2 packs, Ice Block make the job easier and beware of the fear. Also, since we have no frostbite, you can spread the elemental damage on the mobs without being scared to break any snare since we are only focused on slow. The elemental damage stack up over time and it can make a big difference.
Girls flicker loud in silent swirls. Every stare's a warning bell. Will you stay or break the spell? Step right into the echoes in rouge, where fantasy spins subterfuge. Spin too quick and miss the flame. Every echo knows your
Small mistake here, I should have pulled the defender with the rest. There is no reason to not do that as long as you ship the healer, of course. If you are still watching until here, please consider to subscribe. It really helps the channel grow and more than 90% of the viewers are not subscribed. Thank you.
rehearse but never stayed. Mirrors blink and beat parade. Chances dance and quickly fade. Tangled thoughts in satin curls. Flicker loud in silent swirls. Every stare's a warning bell. Will you stay or break the spell? Step right into the echoes in rouge, where fantasy spins subterfuge. Spin too quick and miss the flame. Every echo knows your name. Ooh, the veil begins to slip. Truth revealed in shadow drip. Final bow, one breathless wink. Will you rise or will you sink? The lights dim. The echoes. Step right into the echoes in rouge,
Soothsayers are very annoying because they might control you, and since you are alone, it resets the combat. Either ship her or pay attention to always stay max range. It is frustrating and a huge time loss. Also, a small gold tip, if you have a jewel crafting alt, all the Jaggle Pearl can be turned into gems that can give you 1 gold each when you wander them. It is a huge shuffle for all the Jaggle Pearl you are getting.
Old fingers trace the gilded key. Shadows grin, do you agree? One more move, the dance is set. Spin too slow and you'll forget. Cards are drawn, the clock rewinds. Will you chase or fall behind? Welcome to the Phantom Gala, where the echoes sing in color. Spin the dice, don't lose your place. Lose the game, forget your face. Ooh, the night begins to fade. Every face a masquerade. One last bow, one last glance. Would you dare to take the chance? Shh, the lights dim, the scene resets. Oh, welcome to the Phantom Gala, where the echoes sing in color. Spin the dice, don't lose your place. Lose the game, forget your face. Ooh, sha-la-la.
Don't sleep on the workers, they are worth killing. Even if they are not elite, they are still dungeon mobs and have the same loot table as other dungeon mobs. They are not Naga, so they won't loot clams, but they have the same chance to give items. On top of that, they drop Netherweave Claw.
Sight, sugar whispers slip and glide. Giggled silence tucked inside. Grab the veil and chase the gleam. Truth a ripple in a dream. Golden gears that skip a beat. Will you follow tangled feet? Steps aboard the carousel of echoes, where time forgets how far she goes. Smile too wide, you'll miss the sound. Every whisper spins around. T T T. Painted pony, stolen grace.
So that's the complete Slave Pen's route. Once you get comfortable with the positioning and the cooldown rotation, the farm becomes very consistent. The first few runs might feel a little overwhelming, but after some practice you will be able to repeat the route without much effort. As I mentioned earlier, the real profit comes from processing your loot correctly. Render the items that aren't worth selling, disenchant the green with the low auction house value, and list the pieces that are actually in demand. That's where a big part of your gold per hour comes from. If you have mining or engineering, you'll be able to squeeze even more value out of each run, but they're completely optional. I hope this guide helped you if you're looking for another reliable mage farm in TBC Anniversary. If you have another dungeon or farm you'd like me to test or make a guide on, please let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching and bye bye.